All right, one of our favorite segments to talk about. Week 8 sit start. Mark, what do you got? Kick us off. Who you starting?
So I'm starting with the Tiger King of the NFL, Joe Burrow. I like him a lot this week. Tennessee's defense has struggled mightily this year. They've gotten some takeaways, but they keep giving up points and points. Last week alone, Burrow put up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is a great sign out of a rookie. Um, and in every game, he's thrown it 30 plus times. So get ready for a lot of throwing and a lot of points for him.
Yeah, he is leading the league in pass attempts, so really impressed by the rookie so far. Someone I'm looking at to start this week, Boston Scott against Dallas. This Dallas defense is an absolute nightmare. It's a yard sale. They're just getting rid of people. I mean, this team looks like they've already folded. Boston Scott had a late TD last week that kind of saved his fantasy day. Ended with 18 points, but again, Miles Sanders is going to be out this week. Dallas is ninth worst against the run. So I do expect Boston Scott to have a big day.
Yeah, if I'm anyone, just pick up any Eagle and you should be fine this week.
Should be fine.
So my other stardom would be any skill position basically in that Seattle 49ers game. I'm buying a lot of stock in George Kittle, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. These teams have struggled defensively. They're not what we were used to them, both Seattle and the 49ers. They're known for their good defenses, but this year it's been all about offense. Russell Wilson is going to throw it. And so I expect DK and Tyler Lockett to have pretty good games, maybe not, all Tyler like it was the week before the bye, and then expect George Kittle to do his normal thing and put up a lot of points.
Yeah, big George Kittle fans over here coming from Iowa. Someone else I like this week is Kareem Hunt against the Raiders. The Raiders are the second worst against the run in the league this year. And I do think in order for that team to be successful, for Baker Mayfield to be successful, they have to effectively run the football. It's going to be his last start before Chubb probably comes back. I believe that they have a bye next week. So I think this is going to be Hunt's last start. He's someone that when the Bears had some injury or, a couple years ago when the Bears were still trying to figure out their running back situation, it was really someone I hope that they were going to go after because Kareem Hunt can do it all. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. And he's going to put up points for your fantasy team this week.
Yeah, been real quiet since Nick Chubb went down. They didn't really miss a beat on the run game.
No, they did not. Looking over at the sit category, Mark, who are you staying away from this week?
My first sit was Myles Gaskin. That front from the Rams is quite scary. David Montgomery got a face full last week, so he knows all about that. Tua's first start, so they'll probably be leaning on him a little bit more, but I think the Rams also know that, and they'll probably beg Tua to beat him. Myles Gaskin has had a pretty good, exciting season, but I think the Rams are just too tough an opponent.
Yeah, and obviously I don't like hearing that when I have to start Myles Gaskin this week, but he has stepped in. Jordan Howard is now healthy scratch, so it seems like he's taking that backfield kind of to himself. But I agree, he's playing a good defense. Volume might be there, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Someone I'm avoiding this week is Cam Newton, especially after the terrible week he had last week where he threw 3 picks and was benched in the second half. They don't have a lot of weapons right now. Julian Edelman's out. So there's a lot of unknowns going into this game. I think they were most effective early in the season when they had Cam running the ball. They were doing a little bit of option. They were kind of throwing defenses off. So we'll see if they can get back to that, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen this week for Cam.
Yeah, him taking that little break he had to for COVID really kind of put them into stall mode for their offense and really messed them up. Speaking of teams that have had quarterbacks there that are struggling, Drew Brees against the Bears this week is my final sit-em.
All right.
No Michael Thomas this week. It's going to be a lot of Kamara again, which seems that I'd be saying every week. And the Bears' defensive backfield's been great. And so you have Eddie Jackson and Kyle Fuller guarding third-string wide receivers. They should be okay. So I don't expect much out of Drew Brees. Anticipate the running game being a big factor for the Saints.
And Emmanuel Sanders is still out with COVID as well, right? I don't think he cleared the COVID protocol. So they're really going to have to lean on Traquan Smith. And like you said, heavy on that run game with Alvin Kamara. Who else I'm avoiding this week? Honestly, any Dallas wide receiver against Philly, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. If you can avoid playing them, if you have some depth, I would avoid touching those guys because it is Ben DiNucci's rookie. It's his first start. He started off at Pitt. He transferred to James Madison, where they lost in the FCS national championship game last year against North Dakota State. So, I mean, yeah, he's done well in the FCS, but this is the NFL. This is his first start. The offensive line just let Andy Dalton down last week. I mean, he got absolutely massacred. So I'm not optimistic for Ben DiNucci's first start, especially since it didn't sound like Dallas was too invested in him, taking him in the 7th round, 231st overall. So I think it could be a tough day for Ben DiNucci and the Dallas wide receivers.
That team looks like it's given up all year. So yeah, poor
They look
Ben's
like
walking into fire.
they look like they've given up, but that division is so bad that there's technically still a chance. And they're already selling. So again, not optimistic, but for all of you out there playing fantasy, good luck this week. We wish you the best.
Except for you, PJ.
Fuck you, Mark.